A black luxury car slowly rolled to a stop beside a crowded city sidewalk. People walked by without paying attention, too busy with their own lives to notice the old homeless man sitting quietly near a broken streetlight. His clothes were torn. His shoes barely held together. And beside him was a small cardboard sign that read, "Just trying to survive another day." Most people ignored him. But the man stepping out of the luxury car wasn't like everyone else. He was billionaire businessman Marcus Hale, a man known for his success, expensive lifestyle, and cold personality. The media called him ruthless. Employees feared him. Competitors respected him. Nobody expected him to walk directly toward the homeless man. The street became strangely quiet as Marcus stopped in front of him. "What's your name?" Marcus asked. The homeless man looked up slowly. "Daniel," he answered softly. Marcus stared at him for several seconds without saying another word. Then suddenly, his eyes widened. He looked shocked. Almost emotional. People nearby began whispering. Why would a millionaire react like that to a homeless stranger? Marcus slowly sat beside Daniel on the sidewalk, not caring about his expensive suit getting dirty. Then he asked a question nobody expected. "Do you remember me?" Daniel looked confused at first. But after staring carefully at Marcus, his face slowly changed. His hands started shaking. "No way," Daniel whispered. 20 years earlier, Marcus Hale had been homeless too. Before the money, before the fame, before the luxury cars? He had once slept under bridges and begged for food on the same streets. And during the worst moment of his life, when nobody helped him, one person did. Daniel. Back then, Daniel worked at a small diner nearby. Every night after closing, he secretly gave Marcus leftover food and hot coffee. He never asked for anything in return. He simply said, "Everyone deserves another chance." Marcus never forgot those words. Tears filled his eyes as he looked at the man who once saved him from starvation. "What happened to you?" Marcus asked quietly. Daniel lowered his head. After losing his wife, his job, and eventually his home, life slowly collapsed around him. One tragedy after another pushed him onto the streets. Marcus sat silently for a moment. Then he stood up and pulled out his phone. Within 1 hour, everything changed. A hotel room was arranged. Fresh clothes were delivered. A medical appointment was scheduled. But Marcus didn't stop there. The next morning, Daniel arrived at a large office building downtown. Confused and nervous, he followed Marcus upstairs into a beautiful conference room. Then Marcus handed him an envelope. Inside was something unbelievable. A deed to a fully paid apartment. Daniel's hands trembled as tears rolled down his face. "You saved me when I had nothing," Marcus said. "Now it's my turn to save you." But what Marcus did next shocked everyone even more. He offered Daniel a job inside his company, not out of pity, but out of respect. Because Marcus believed something powerful. A person's hardest moment should never define their entire life. News of the story spread quickly online. Millions of people were touched by the reunion. Some cried watching the video footage captured by strangers nearby. But the biggest lesson came from Daniel himself. When reporters asked him why he helped Marcus years ago even when he barely had enough for himself, he smiled and said, "Kindness costs nothing, but it can change someone's entire future." And sometimes, the smallest act of kindness returns when you least expect it. Subscribe.